What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus G15 Advantage gameplay video for you guys today. And today, we're trying out Crimson Desert. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to get some decent performance out of it. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go in there and hit cinematic settings and any of that shit. I'm not even going to bother with that. I think we should go in there and maybe we'll start with Ultra instead. And then, that probably still won't work, so we'll drop it down to maybe High, which is probably what I would start with if this was just me starting the game, playing, and whatnot. So, we'll see what it can do. It's only 1080p, so hopefully we won't have to rely on any upscaling, but we shall see. Either way, let's hop on in. Well, alright, this is probably a little overzealous, but I wanted to try it anyway. Figured we'd start off with some Ultra settings. 1080p, native, no upscaling. Then we'll try it with some upscaling. Then we'll try something more reasonable like High, with upscaling, and without. And then I figured I'd do my settings. So, I guess with that said, let's go get started, shall we?
Greetings, my child. Greetings, my child. Greetings, my child.
Oh, how noble the short haircuts are.
Do you have a moment?
So, now, like I said, we'll do some FSR upscaling. That's really your only option. Either none or FSR. You can't even use Intel in this. As a matter of fact, I don't think Intel was even supported like driver-wise, so I think that's why EXCSS is not in here. I mean, you can't even play right now if you have an Intel GPU, so why would that be there, right? Anyway, let's hop on in.
Fine day, is it not?
Greetings.
From the top, who are you?
Light upon you.
I thought I smelled a coward.
You smell of dirt. Am I imagining it? I swear I've heard weeping coming from somewhere.
One strike, and you're done before you can breathe.
So now, figured we'd drop it down to high. And I left FSR on, but we're not using any of the upscaling, so it might look a little worse than it did before, because I think I just had it off. But it's not helping, so figured we'd do this real quick, try some FSR, and then I'd do my settings. I mean, no matter what, we kind of get about the same FPS. Take a couple here and there. But let's go see what it can do with this first, before we do anything else.
What?
The goblins and bandits have been running me ragged.
Turn back, please.
Now we'll do a little quality upscaling here, which doesn't really help us that much. A couple FPS here and there, but in other areas, it drops to about the same that it was before. But I guess with all that out of the way, let's go see what it does with this. Then we'll try my settings, which, just spoiler alert, are definitely not 60 FPS. I mean, unless you make the game look like crap, you can't really get 60 plus in this particular game on this system. It's a shame. But anyway, let's go see what this can do, shall we?
An arm wrestling match? Oh, I'll have to pass.
Word is there's weeping coming from the cellars.
Townsfolk want someone to investigate.
An arm wrestling match? Oh, I'll have to pass.
Food. So hungry.
So now here's the settings I'd run. If this was my sole system, I had no other way of playing the game, but I really wanted to play, I just have to suck it up and not deal with 60 FPS. Well, without the game looking terrible anyway. I could probably get 60, but it would not be a very pleasant looking game at that point. Either way, why don't we jump on into the game?
A fine harvest, and worth the sweat.
Of all the rotten...
So let's get ourselves a little camera board gameplay with my settings here. They're not the best settings in the world, but since we couldn't get 60 all the time anyway, I figured it's a game that's mostly about looks. It's not a twitchy first-person shooter, so I feel like a lot of people would probably rather look like this and play like this than, you know, sacrifice all the looks. And it seemed like I couldn't really do too much with that. Even if I did turn everything down to low and everything, I still wouldn't get very much more FPS here. And it would look significantly worse. And some people might be down with that, but I feel like a lot of people with this kind of system would probably not want that. So, and here we are. These are the settings I decided to go with. And we're getting a little night gameplay. I don't think I've done that on the system yet. Yeah, it's definitely not a VRAM hog, that's for sure. That's just nice for how nice it looks. But we're also on a realistic resolution for this kind of system. I mean, 1440p, it's got the VRAM for it, but like I was expecting, yeah, I think the actual core of the thing can't quite handle it. It's got the VRAM for it, but most of the time with these newer titles anyway, it can't. Older stuff, heck yeah. I played plenty of stuff. Heck, you go back old enough, you can even get away with 4K on some titles, if all you want is like 60-ish FPS. But nah, modern stuff. Nope, nope, nope. Even though this is pretty damn well optimized, this thing just doesn't have the power. And that's okay. It's getting old. At least it's not sitting at like 12 FPS or something like that. That would not be very fun. This is still very playable for most people. But the people that want 60 plus would not be very pleased. Because for a lot of people, even 60 is slow on PC. So I feel like people that still hold on to these have realistic expectations. I mean, this thing is comparable to a PS5 regular model. The Pro is way more powerful GPU-wise. That thing is better. Even though I have a better CPU, it doesn't matter. In this kind of game, the GPU is mostly more important. There are some areas where having a more powerful than a Zen 2 and the Pro and stuff would be better, but having the better GPU seems a lot more important in this kind of game, more often than not. So that's where this thing's advantage falls flat. It does have a more powerful CPU, but GPU is more comparable to a regular PS5. And the regular PS5 can't use the cool PSR, that's just for the Pro. It has to use FSR just like I am right now. And that's no fun, because it doesn't look the greatest. But it's very playable. I'm sure we could probably like make it look like crap and get 60. But like I said before, with a game like this, I don't think too many people want to do that. Even at night, this game was a looker. I was worried it was going to just like look terrible at night, but it still looks pretty damn cool with all the candlelight and my lantern light and all that stuff. The fires from the guards doing their patrols. Oh no. Haha. Rather than neither. And I bet if I go too far to the left, I'm going to get yelled at and attacked by the guards. So. It would also be nice to play a game like this where I could hear myself think too, so This is my big problem with gaming laptops. To get max performance, you kind of have to either tinker with them a lot, or get a cooling pad and have them be loud as shit like me if you just want to have it try to be as close to max performance as it can out of the box. But if you're willing to sit there and tinker with these, you can get quite a bit more FPS than me. You'd probably be getting like maybe 5, 6 to 10 FPS more than me even. If you sat there and like overclock the RAM, overclock the GPU, all that stuff. You'd definitely be getting a little bit more than me. But it still isn't a bad showing for its age, I don't think. Anyway, I think that's more than adequate. Why don't we go wrap on up? Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for Crimson Desert on the Asus G15 Advantage. And you can get pretty playable FPS so long as you don't want 60 all the time. That's probably not going to happen unless you make it look like crap or use frame gen, and then we all know that's not really what FPS it's getting. And for me, it doesn't even feel remotely useful, at least, until you get into the 80s to 100 FPS range. And then at that point, just my opinion, I'd rather just have the normal 80 to 100 FPS. But that's just me. But hey, I'm glad the technology still exists. I'm not going to say, hey, just because I don't use it, no one should. It doesn't exist. Screw that tech. Because I just don't use it. And then the people that like it can use it. Everybody's happy. So anyway, that's about all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. Still can't do a proper peace out with the right hand yet, so we'll do a left-handed peace out, and until the next video.